Welcome everybody to our energy update for week 15. My name is Jona Bryndis, and as every Friday, I'm reporting about those collective energies that we all feel as energetically sensitives and that we would like to understand better so that we know how to manage our energies better around what is going on the outside and, of course, what it does to us on the inside. Yes, and week 15 is for the 9th till the 15th of April. A very, very dynamic time, a very, let's say, interesting time because we have to pay attention. Next week's energy update is called Stand with Yourself with an exclamation mark. Okay, stand in your own light. Learn how to stand with yourself based on who you are now, who you are today. So last Wednesday, we had a beautiful energy talk about who am I now? What is my purpose? And this has a lot to do with all these inner processes that are going on inside of us. And therefore, it is a quite deep time. At the same time, we're also experiencing this onslaught of bombardment from the outside. Lots of information, lots of stuff to filter, to process, to just simply deal with. So there is a little bit of an immediacy with all of this, at least so it feels like in our bodies. Can you guys relate to this? There is a very, very strong, it feels like a stress energy. Yeah, it's like, oh my God, what am I supposed to do? And at the same time, it's also a very, very deep energy. In other words, it really speaks to, what is going on inside of us and how we want to handle things now that we are more aware of the fact that we are standing at, say, like a new beginning or a new chapter. Many of you, realizing that you also have a choice in this, where you want to go now. And so the heaviness that you felt this last week, yeah, this is lightening up a little bit, but you got to be careful to not loop too much in your head. All right, so the complexity of this inner and outer interaction, okay, can easily pull you into your inner back and forth. Anybody notice this here in these last days, yeah, or maybe even weeks? But there is a very, very strong energy that informs you that you have to do things differently. You can't repeat the same thing over and over again. Why? Simply because in many of your guys' cases, if you keep doing the same thing, you're just going to get the same results. That's a simple logic. But for some of you, there's something very important that has happened here in those last years, and that has to do with you evolving, you changing, your values changing, your boundaries changing, your consciousness changing, your entire life view changing. And this is a bit of a time right now where you have to make choices in regards to how you want to proceed, whom you want to, move into this new beginning with. If, the people that you've, let's say, worked with, or the people that you have surrounded yourself with as friends, or family members, the partners that you've chosen, if they are aligned in the same way as you are, say, just to keep it neutral here, your goal in life, and you feel this strongly as your purpose, is to grow, is to evolve, maybe a little more, in the sense of your consciousness and your spiritual connection and the connection with other people. And, others, have different values. There's no need to judge that. Yeah, they want to maximize profits, or they want to build up more savings, or they want to circumvent crises. Okay, these are all alignments in our life. They have to do with our life view. They have to do with how we see the world and ourselves, us, standing in it. And when it's about purpose, like we've talked about here in this energy talk on Wednesday, it has a lot to do with how we choose to live this life, what we want to get out of life. And especially for those of you who are energetically sensitive and maybe on the empathic side of things, also what feels true to you. So we are in the middle of confrontation with untruth for the purpose of coming or moving into more truth collectively. And for us individually, this process means that we have to, make choices. If we recognize or identify that things aren't true to us anymore, say maybe they were at a time but no longer, then there are some practical things that go along with that we need to choose. And a lot of times what happens here, because of our conditioning, how we were schooled, how we were conditioned through our tribe, through our family of origin and so forth, mass media as we know, and where we're living, what country and so forth, we can get confused there. The conditioning brings in doubts. And this is your main task here for this next week, guys. You're going to have to stand in your own light. In other words, really know what is true, what is real for you, even though it may still feel a little like you might lose something or you have to let go of something. So remember, the April theme here is very much about what you need to let go to grow. All right. So this sense of purpose that is coming in from deep within is sometimes not what you think. I know a lot of you guys are seeking for purpose. All right. This is not how this goes, guys. A sense of purpose from deep within comes through, for example, boundaries, comes through you learning what no longer works for you, comes through recognizing that things that you may have agreed to or, that you let slide are no longer okay for you. So there is this impulse right now to say, you know what, I've had it. This is it. I'm not doing this. This, no matter how I look at it, all right, it always points at me not being happy or fulfilled. We just need to slow this down a little bit, because this immediacy that I mentioned, or the FOMO, the fear of missing out here, can drive us into these mental loops where we keep questioning, is this the right timing? Is this the right situation? Should we not wait a little longer? The answer is no. But the way how to do this is sometimes not that clear. And this is what this next week is for, guys. It's supposed to get you into a place of more clarity and basically to make things more real, more concrete. You still don't need to have everything figured out. This is not what this is about. It is more about you thinking it all the way through. And yes, I said thinking, but when you think things all the way through, remember last week I recommended you that you use this time to go within, to sit in this energy, sit in your feelings, sit in your thoughts, and honor your gut feelings, honor how your body responds to outer information, to other people's dealings. Especially, this is something that I've been observing here in this week, all these enmeshed dynamics with family, spouses, or co-workers. This last week was a week that showed you truly, what is worth it for you to invest in and what isn't. And I don't know if you can see this as clearly as I portray it here, but if you listen to your gut, basically to your nervous system, yeah, this is your body mind. Okay, your body mind has a hardwire between, it's the psychosomatics. Okay, it shows you exactly how your body feels. Yeah, for example, many of you know what it's like. Your body contracts. Many of you know what it does to your face when you start thinking too much. I look at all these wrinkles that I have on my forehead. I clearly thought too much in my life. It can feel very restricting and stiff and rigid. It can even lead to, pains in your joints, in your, sort of mobility. Yeah, this is all coming from sort of stress hormones that are released based on something, yeah, rubbing you the wrong way, if you will. And this is the part that we now need to use our higher thinking, yeah, and think this through. We need to look at it and say to ourselves, what is it now that makes me feel this way? Yeah. Is it the fact that it's cold outside? Is it the fact that there's so much going on in the world that may or may not directly affect me? Or is it all this drama? Yeah, especially the drama that other people bring into our lives that I constantly have to deal with. And if that is what you notice is bothering you, or is putting your system, yeah, not just your physical body, not just your nervous system, but also your feelings and your thoughts and you believe in yourself, your self-esteem, into this sort of ADHD place with yourself where you can't even hold a thought all the way through. All right, that's when you have to pay attention. Okay, because that means that there's not enough clarity for you. Yeah, I don't know about you, but I've always admired these people that were so clear about what they wanted, what they don't want, and what works for them and what doesn't. This wasn't me until, I'd say, like 15 years ago. Until 15 years ago, I would constantly question my choices. I would constantly feel into whether there was a better option, or sometimes it was simply the fact that I was afraid to confront something, to say to somebody, hey, look, this isn't working for me. These words, yeah, they were really, really hard for me to speak up, because I thought, yeah, and this is important here for many of you, I thought it was up to me, it was my responsibility to compensate for it or to cope with it, to somehow harmonize it. I thought it was my responsibility. And this is where this clarity is needed, guys, because, a lot of times, and actually, if you feel into your values, that's how you want it. It's not your responsibility. It takes two to tango. It takes two for collaboration. It takes two or more, obviously, to get something off the ground, to start something new together. It takes two or more for together, yeah, to be a team, which means it's not just your responsibility. And if the other, be it an individual or a group, keeps showing you that they are not interested, or that their value system is different from yours, that they're, not putting as much in as you, right? Why are you still investing in this? Why do you still believe that you have to be a better coper? Why do you still put all your energy into trying to deal with other people's stuff better? That is where you need to go in, yeah, and feel into your gut, okay? Because if you're not sure if whatever is coming from other people, or what the enmeshment, or whatever the constellation, let's call it this way, brings into your life, listen to your gut. It's very, very visceral. Your system will inform you if there is something that rubs you the wrong way. And if that is the case, you need to take that impulse and think it through. You need to feel into this, what in me is responding here. And a lot of times, yeah, this is the part of our nervous system that responds the strongest, it's fear. But feel into that fear. Don't be afraid to feel into this. So what fear is that? What kind of fear is this? The fear of confrontation? Is it the fear to say no? Is it the fear of clarifying things? Yeah, sometimes we don't want to clarify things. Why? Ask yourself why. Why do I prefer to have things sort of in this sort of gray, wishy-washy area than making it more clear? Sometimes it's because you don't want to ask for help. Sometimes it is because you have a really hard time to receive help. Ask yourself why. Yeah. And when you go into the whys, that's when you have to use your higher thinking, because there is another sort of ego trap hidden there, yeah, that can pull you into endless whys. This is not what this is about. This week here, next week, is about simplifying, getting to the core of truth, understanding what corrupts your energy or your energy management, or sometimes the values that you have or the boundaries that you have. And guess what? You have the right to say, well, you know, this used to be okay for me, but my views and my values have shifted over the past, whatever, period of time. And this is no longer true for me. This no longer works for me. And if we want to continue doing this together, yeah, then we need to shift the way we do this. And yes, you have the right to ask for this. Yes, you have the right to claim that. Not necessarily in the sense of my way or the highway, yeah. Why not? Because that would also go against your values. But when it comes to mutuality, guys, do not mistake this with selflessness. Mutuality, a big core value that many of you have, has something to do with both contributing, has something to do with both winning, you know, win-win, or even better, win-win-win. Has to do with both working together. Yeah. Just a tip here when it comes to looking at what's going on there in the Ukraine and Russia. Look at it a little more closely. It's not the way it's being portrayed in the media. And also look at who's controlling the media and how these fractions control the media. Yeah, there is not a lot of clarity there, and there are truths underneath all that that show an entirely different picture. So self-reliance comes from you understanding what your true responsibilities are, what is worth for you to commit yourself to. And your true responsibilities, they're just to bring this back here as a remembrance, are to you, to with yourself, your higher self, you know, and maybe God or the divine, if that is part of your life view. You as a soul self have to first and foremost fulfill the promise that you made to your higher self. And that is something that you cannot evade. See, when it comes to dealing with other people, you can say, yes, I know I agreed to this. Yes, I know I perhaps even enabled it. Maybe I you know, gave you the impression that it's okay for me. But I can see this clearly now, how that is not okay for me. Based on who I am now, based on what my values are now, based on where I stand or what I stand for now, I can no longer subscribe to this. And I'm sorry, and obviously I'm responsible for, you know, some of the consequences of that, you know, pulling it apart or letting it go. Yeah, that's a given. But this may be something that if you want to collaborate with me, if you want to do this marriage with me, if you want to do this business with me, or if you want to work this out with me, that you now need to live up to. You have the right to do that, guys. This is basically, in corporate structures, we would call this quality assurance. You need to make sure that you stand with your standards, stand with your bars. All right, that's your responsibility. Yeah, it's your responsibility to ensure your quality, how you show up in this life. Collaborations occur when people who are aligned to the same values and the same goals come together and want to work this out together. When they both agree to wanting to work it out together. My way or the highway doesn't communicate together. My way or the highway communicates, we can only do it this way, the way I want it, and you take it or you leave it. See, and I know that many of you have experienced this in life and you maybe judge that. And I can see why you would judge that, because you think it's selfish. It is selfish to a degree. But there are some things in life where it's very important to do that. Namely, when it's about those things in life that have to do with your integrity. When it comes to your integrity, your fundamental integrity, you cannot make compromises. And so sometimes you have to come to the conclusion that maybe this relationship or this working contract or even lease contract or whatever, these agreements were that you made prior, that they no longer work for you now. And this is why you need to have this clarity, because it's so fundamental for moving forward. This cannot be unclear. If you want to pull something off, if you want to bring something, if you want to birth something, you need to know what for, and where you want this to go. You don't have to have everything figured out. But if you can identify that in what is being suggested to you, or what is being expected from you, or what is just sort of being taken as an agreement, does no longer lead to growth, does no longer lead to solutions, or doesn't allow you to evolve for whatever reasons, then you need to be clear that this won't work for you. And I know this is a huge challenge for many of you, but that's only because nobody ever told you that you have the right to do this. It's not selfish, guys. It means being true to yourself. It means to put your values and your integrity out there and shine that. And then standing in your own light means nothing but being absolutely clear about who you are, whom you want to experience this life as, and what works for you and what doesn't, until the next growth phase occurs. Then things can change, values can shift, and that is part of our human experience. What speaks against this, guys, the part in you that works against this ego part, and what triggers your nervous system to respond with this like really contracted sort of gut feeling here, this like attack in your sternum and your solar plexus, is the fear of being alone, the fear of being left alone, the fear of being rejected, the fear of, well, it's not very defined. It's really a core fear that is being triggered in you, right? The fear of getting kicked out of the tribe. We all carry this fear in us. This is part of our instinctual human being, the body mind, because we simply can't survive on our own. However, if you think this through, how realistic is it that you're going to be entirely alone, out on the ocean on a small, whatever piece of wood, okay, having to maneuver through life all by yourself? How realistic is it? Is that actually real? No. It sometimes means that you have to align with other people. But trust me, in the whole sort of scope here of 7 billion plus people on this planet, there's enough people out there who agree and who like to align themselves the same way as you are aligned, to growth, to higher purpose, to fulfillment, to true happiness in life. There's enough out there. And that's the beauty of my job. This is why I love my job so much, because I get to talk to you. I get to talk to all of you from all over the planet. I know you exist. I know you are real. And yes, you are all going through the same things, but let me assure you, there's plenty of people like us out there. So those of you who come into Iceland, for example, will be able to experience this for real. And what this could be like when you are in the presence of people that are like-minded, that are aligned to the same things, where everybody is not just able and not just committed, but also understands how important it is to stand in their own light. And what happens when people who stand in their own light come together, that synergy that forms is so great that it can actually compensate, it can actually equal out the deficiencies and the lack on other layers here. They can carry the light for other people. You know how important this one person can be that reminds you of, you can do this. You're wonderful. You're a wonderful person. You have wonderful values. You have wonderful ways of approaching it. You've just picked the wrong people to do it with. So don't give up on you. Don't give up on your light. Don't let this be corrupted. Don't give up on your values. Don't give up on your ways. Change the people you want to do this with. And I'm not saying you should all leave your spouses and families and all that. No, I'm talking about the deeper aspects of that, the attachment to them. Stop wanting to get validation from them. Stop wanting them to approve of what you're doing. Stop wanting them as in people who don't have the same values as you, people who don't respect your boundaries, people who are selfish, egotistical, that you do not subscribe to. And know how to work with this fear. And it comes in as this instinctual impulse, this first and second chakra sting, okay? Like, oh my God, what am I going to do? That one. It's not realistic, you see? Because time moves on. There always is an end to whatever the challenge is that you are going through right now. And there always is a light at the end of the tunnel. You just need to know how to hold your own light while you're going through the darkness of that tunnel. And that, my dears, is your task here for this next week. Those of you who are already resilient enough to recognize this for themselves, remind yourself that when you are able to hold your own light, when you're able to stand in your own light, You know, that's contagious too. Just like fear is contagious. But being able to stand in your own light is contagious as well. And it spreads. It has a positive impact on other people, even if it's just in form of faith, in form of courage, in form of hope. That's, you know, the proverbial beacon of light. You can be a beacon of light. You don't have to interfere in people's lives. You don't have to infringe. You don't have to give them advice or anything like that. No, you just need to be who you are and stand for it. That is empowering for other people. It's assuring. And if it so happens that these people have the same values as you, well, then that's a great opportunity for you to seek new collaborations. Yeah. So remember, guys, this visceral feeling that I described is the one that is getting you into trouble right now. Yeah, where your body reacts, and you take that as, oh my God, maybe I'm wrong, maybe I need to, you know, do more of this, or maybe I'm not good enough. This kind of talk, you know what I'm talking about. That is triggered by this first, second chakra, questioning yourself. It's the opposite of standing in your own light, yeah, of shining your own light. So you need to work with your own needs, your own desires, and your own goals more clearly, so that you can believe in them yourself, okay? Because that is then what steers you into self-reliance, self-responsibility, and self-belief. Right? The confidence to get through that tunnel. Yeah. And sometimes, yeah, more often than not, you meet others that are doing the same thing, and you realize that if you both stand in your light, that adds more energy to this. So be aware of, you know, all these emotional vampires out there, those toxic relationship and family patterns that just suck the living hell out of you to no avail. This is not going to get you anywhere. It's not going to help you to start a life that is more congruent, that is more real for you. It's just going to distract you into their stuff, other people's problems, OPPs. Become better at realizing when you're wasting your energy on other people's problems. Now, that said, that doesn't mean that you can't be a good listener and you can't be present for others. Of course you can. But don't enmesh. Don't make yourself part of that problem, yeah, so that you end up having or feeling the responsibility that you have to solve it, because there are some people that are specialized on that, making you feel that it's your responsibility to solve their problems. Yes, Siri, I see what you're saying. So there is this stuckness that we've all felt here, this heaviness, and it's very important that we know how to work with these visceral, these strong physical energies. Yeah, this is where grounding, centering, and self-clearing comes in, the basic energy management techniques. Yeah, so let me do this here. Let me close this energy update with modeling, with showing you this. Yeah, how to do this in like 30 seconds or a minute or so. When you feel overwhelmed by this, you know, rubs you the wrong way feeling, and you feel that your gut and your, you know, your shoulders and your heart contracts and your face gets like your eyebrows get all crinkly. All right. First thing, relax your facial muscles. It's very important. That's when you realize how tight, how tense this all was. Okay. And shake out your body a little bit. Yeah. And then ground yourself. And this is a very, very simple thing. You can do elaborate grounding techniques, but I really like the simple ones. And that is just closing your eyes, breathing into the earth. And if you're visual, you can visualize yourself sort of forming roots into the ground and connecting with the center, the heart of the planet, yeah, the heart of Gaia. Just saying hi, saying I'm here. Take a deep breath. Make sure it's a belly breath and breathe into the ground. And you know, if you are okay with sitting in this for a moment, something surprising will happen. Yeah, maybe do this one more time or two more times. Hold your breath. Breathe into the ground. Say hi to the heart of Gaia. And she will answer back. You will feel the antidote, literally the antidote of or for this jittery, visceral, nervous energy will feel calm all of a sudden. Yeah, and you can stay there for as long as you want. You can do this while you're in a conversation, guys. I do this a lot when I have difficult conversations with people. Take a deep breath, go deep within, feel into my gut, feel into my legs, my feet, yeah. Focus on my soles touching the ground so I know I'm here, I'm grounded. Yeah. And that way I can reset myself. I feel I belong again. Yeah, this is the antidote for the fear of not belonging. And then you pull the energy a little higher into your heart center here. And you center yourself in this. Okay, I can feel myself here. And this is then what allows you to expand your light, yeah? Work with your light. Visualize this light sort of 3D, yeah, as a balloon here, centered in your heart. And don't forget the backside of yourself, yeah? 3D means, yeah, XYZ. Don't just blow up a balloon in front of you. When it comes to energy work, you have to make sure it's very centric and symmetric. Yeah? And then keep breathing and breathe into this ball of light and increase the radius as you go. Yeah? Stand in your light right in the center and increase the radius. And then also, perhaps those of you who are very visual, you may actually see how it conjoins or collides with other people's energies. So don't get me wrong here, you don't have to see energies to feel them. Yeah, there's a big misconception. I train all this in the energy course. Guys, if you haven't heard about the 6 weeks energy awareness training, phenomenal for any energetically sensitive and instrumental at that, because it allows us to discern energies. Is this mine? Is this his? This is when you begin to realize, how this battle of resonances, how this battle of energies goes on every day with every person. Yeah. So maybe it helps you to clarify that, whatever war is going on out there, might be bad, but hey, most people don't realize the war that is going on in and around them. And as an energy coach, I can tell you that that's a much more important one, because that is happening 24/7, 365. All right. And then obviously, if you can, really get the hang of the centering, you recognize, what these energies are that you are taking on, that especially when it comes to thinking too much, yeah. And you use your breath and you use your grounding to allow these excess or, other people's energies, say, to leave you, to let go. That none of this is new. We've practiced this over and over again. There's 60 energy prayers on my YouTube channel, just doing this every day for 5 minutes. Yeah, but there's also, workshops that explain this in depth, why that needs to be. Or obviously personal coaching, where I introduce this to you based on your personal experiences and what to use. But self-clearing is not that mystical, guys. It's literally you understanding yourself better and your own energies, and learning how to better cope with your own energies instead of wasting your energy on trying to solve other people's problems. Just to have the illusion of belonging. All right, so this is the energy here for this next week. Remember to simplify. Remember, that at the end of the day, you and your light, is what you are primarily responsible for. That's why you have to begin to see yourself as an energy manager, because that's the true bank account that you need to worry about. That's going to last for lifetimes. All right. I'm wishing you a good week, next week. You will feel the energies shifting, and there is something new that starts after this week. So week 16 will bring in a little more intensity in other ways, and you need to be very clear about who you are now and what you need now. And as I am continuing to report to you, there will be another shift in May, and that one is a big one. Okay, that is the one where you need to make your choice as to how you want to live your life. So use this time now, guys. Take action. Those of you who would like to work with me directly on this energy level, you will see me send out an invitation for the energy boost sessions. That is something that I only do when there are very, very intense energies where a lot of people need this immediate help, energetic help to maneuver through this. This is a 2-week daily session, energy session, that comes with basically an analysis, where I give you the analysis of those energies that are working on you today, right now, and what you need to focus on. So yes, I'm very excited about this. This will start on the 16th or 17th of April after Easter. These 2 weeks, these last 2 weeks in April are very, very important. All right, guys, I love you, and I see you soon. Check in, subscribe to my email, subscribe to my YouTube channel to stay tuned, and I see you very soon. Bye-bye.